supercar in 2021. What is it? Well, it's most likely going to be turbocharged, with a huge amount of electronic driver aids to keep you on the tarmac, and maybe even four-wheel drive. Supercars have become something different, usable and tame. Or so you would think.
That is the unmistakable sound of a Lamborghini V10. Welcome everybody to the Lamborghini Huracan EVO rear-wheel drive Spider.
The Huracan EVO rear-wheel drive is the baby of the Lamborghini range. It can be differed from its four-wheel drive counterpart by its shark-nose styled front bumper and new, sharper lines in the rear diffuser. Inside, you still get the same level of sophistication. The 8.4-inch central touchscreen is the same, and there is an enormous array of materials and colours available through ad personam. The big changes with the rear-wheel drive, however, become apparent when you're behind the wheel.
The rear-wheel drive isn't about those stats though. There's only so much you can see on a piece of paper. The rear-wheel drive is about the intangible, the things that can't be felt from just looking at a stat sheet. It's about the way this car goes down the road with that 5.2 litre V10 howling in your ears. It's intangible, it's something you can't put your finger on, but it gets you in here. You can't help but play with this amazing gearbox. You end up playing the engine like a musical instrument. So as the name suggests, we've lost drive to the front axle, which means that we've lost 33 kilos off the weight of this car. And that's all at the front end, and you can really feel that lack of weight up there. The front end is really light and pointy. The glorious 5.2 litre V10 has also taken a bit of a down tune, so now we've got 602 brake horsepower and 413 foot-pounds of torque, which means that the 0 to 62 mile an hour sprint time has actually got a little bit slower, to 3.3 seconds. However, as I've already mentioned, it doesn't matter. That engine is a force of nature. It takes over the entire experience and just pulls at your heartstrings. It's a masterpiece. But the thing that's really surprised me about this car is when you drop it back out of Corsa, which I've got it in now, back to Strada using the little toggle down here, let's even put it into automatic. The change of character is incredible. Now I know I always bang on about how cars change character when you change the driving modes, but most of the time it's tiny incremental changes. However, the change in this car, when you go from Corsa back to Sport and then back to Strada, is night and day. The engine drops back, the exhaust note becomes a lot more civilised. I mean, you can still hear it, however, it's a lot more usable on a daily basis. The damping on this car as well is phenomenal. This is a Lamborghini and I expect to be thrown all over the place and it'd be really difficult and really hard. I feel like I kind of expected this to feel like I was being dragged behind it on my face rather than actually sitting in the driver's seat of the car. But no, I was entirely wrong. It is so impressive as a daily supercar. So well, let's not mess about. Let's bang it back into Corsa. Engine wakes up, back into manual. And just a quick one, we've obviously got over 600 brake horsepower going to the rear wheels. And when you're in Sport or Corsa, you actually have the ESC dial back. Now there's no option in this, like there is in the Evo 4-wheel drive, to have an ego mode and dial it back in. You've always got it dialed back in Sport or ESC, which can make for some pretty hairy cornering. Now let's drop it down a few cogs, and let's indulge in the audible delight of a Lamborghini V10. It's magical. I am mighty impressed by this car. It's got a real beautiful balance to it, and you just can't escape that noise. Oh, it's just one of the great noises in motoring. The way this car grips, steers, goes around corners, accelerates. I don't feel like it's lacking in power at all. But it's all about the way this car makes you feel, and the way that it's making me feel is, well, like a 10-year-old boy again, looking at a poster of Murcielago and thinking, one day, I pray that I get to drive a car like that. And today is that day. And this experience, this drama, is only emphasised by the fact that this is a Spider. This is the one that I'd have. If I was buying a supercar, I'd buy a Lamborghini, and I'd have it with no roof, because you have to indulge in this. Oh my word! This car is absolutely sensational. You can probably tell by the cracks in my voice and how excited I am. I'm in love! I'm in love! What a biblical machine! What a feat of engineering! What a machine!
With the rear-wheel drive, Lamborghini has gone back to the roots of what a supercar can be. For all its incredible technology, it feels like a classic supercar. Mid-engined, rear-wheel drive, and a soundtrack to awaken the giddy child in all of us. But most of all, I feel that the rear-wheel drive Spider takes you back to what driving is all about. We maybe have got a little bit lost in a power arms race, but in this car, the numbers just do not matter. It gets under your skin. It makes you smile from the moment you get into it, and keeps you smiling long after you've got out of it. It is simply sensational.